Folks, I am sure you folks are able to hear me. Folks, about the next session, the topic the topic of the next session is embracing the future, automation and SDETs in an AI driven world. And the name of the speaker is Subhash. And Subhash brings with him nearly 2 decades of experience in software testing and engineering. His prime focus throughout his career has been delivering high quality products to the market punctually. He is committed to not only ensuring the timely release of the products, but also meticulous construction and the automation of repetitive tasks. Folks, I will invite Subhash on the stage. Thank you very much for writing boom in the chat. Amazing. Thank you very much. Perfect. Subhash, can you hear me properly?
I can. Am I audible, everyone? Zero
Yes.
one zero one.
Yes.
Cool.
Folks, if Subhash is audible to you, can you type 0 and 1 in the chat? That is amazing. Thank you. Yes, Subhash, the stage is all yours.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Arun. You have been jumping from session to session,
Yeah.
managing everything really great,
Yeah.
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Cool. Welcome, everyone. Let me start sharing my screen. And yeah, Arun already gave a good introduction about myself, which is great. So let's dive into the topic, which is more about embracing the future of the estates. I'll just quickly just skip this slide because the introduction is there already. But yeah, which is missed is around the organization that I'm associated with, which is Tide.co. My friends in India might recollect it as the detergent powder Tide, but no, it's not the detergent powder. We are a financial platform and a global financial platform. We help the business owners save the time to do what they love with respect to doing the actual tasks that they want to do with their business. What we help them is more respect to their invoices, the expenses, the credits, the loans, and overall managing of their accounts. So that's what the business financial platform called Tide does currently. Some facts around Tide is it's a fintech scale up. We are more than 10% market share in the UK, which means every one in out of the 10 business owners, small and medium business owners in the UK are associated with Tide and are happy with Tide. We are also into the Indian market. It has been more than an year or more than 18 months or so now into the Indian market, growing rapidly with over 2 lakh members right now. We are a multicultural engineering team spread across the world, which is London, Bulgaria, Sofia, India, Hyderabad, and Delhi, with more than 1600, which you can see there, 1600 Tidians at the moment all across. So before going to the future, we must understand what is the current state of SDETs, right? So the lovely ladies that you see, they are the actual members of our app type in India. So we brand ourselves and brand the business owners to also to have a good part. So the current state of SDETs, as most of us would probably know, is what we do with respect to the shift left automation, automating the test cases early enough in the sprints, in sprint automation, doing the API test, which could be unit integration contract, doing the performance test, doing the security test, and a lot of things, right? So from this current state, how do we go to the next stage? what what are the tools available, what is the knowledge that is available to us to uh, you know embrace the future with respect to how we want to see the SDET world, the testing world altogether, right? So currently a lot of this is already in place for the past 3-4 years, which is with respect to the usage of AI in the testing and the automation world, which is doing the intelligent automation, the process automation, the RPAs, which all of these is existing from probably 3-4 years and helping us really great. There's a lot of things that is going on with creating of test cases. You give the different Gen AI models. These are my flows, or these are my specific feature, and can you give me test cases? So it is giving us Uh, the third more important part is around the data generation piece, which is definitely a challenge when it comes to automation or performance testing. Folks who are from the performance world and the automation world would relate to it. Creating the data is a pain, right? And if you want to create them manually, put all those things is a bigger pain, and that's where the AI is really helping us with respect to creating the right set of data. Of course, you still have to make sure that the data that is given to us by these all these models is actually correct or not. But like our guru, I mean, he says himself, or he portrays himself as a student, Rahul, but for me, he's kind of a guru. So he said that the data can be generated from these Gen AI models, right? So those Gen AI models, use them to create the test data that you want for your automation, for your performance tests. Validate them whether it's exactly what you need for your specific needs. Modify wherever you want, and then put it onto the your test cases, be it automation, performance, or even manual tests for that matter. When we go a step ahead from using these AI parts in the testing and automation world, what comes into the picture is AI powered test automation, right? So there's a slight difference in the terminology that is being used. The earlier slide says AI in testing and automation. The next one is about AI powered test automation, which is like, how do we make sure that the usage of the new automation skill sets and can be enhanced much more by using the new age tools and stuff that the AI is giving us with respect to the Gen AI or the other parts, right? So what does this AI powered test automation really means, and how does that is helping us is, you might already be knowing the self-healing automation scripts. Uh, for with respect to the automation, there are a lot of flaky tests that comes up very often with respect to changing of a locator, changes of XPaths. So all you do is spend time in fixing that, and the release gets delayed. That's not what you want. You want your quality product released into the market as early as possible. So these self-healing automation steps actually help us in fixing those locators, which is not your area, which is not what you want to do. What you want to do is test the automation or test the product right using automation and release it to the market with a safer approach, right? So this self-healing tools that are coming up, you can integrate with your Selenium scripts, Cypress scripts, and whatever you want to use in your organization, which will heal or fix the locators and then run it accordingly. There's a lot of things that are now coming up with respect to predictive analysis, which is helping us in identifying the high risk areas. So, how do we do, or what do we do with respect to usage of this predictive analysis? Is uh, there is something called as segment tracking. So you could put through your automation script or manual script and go through, understand, you know uh, how actually a customer is playing around with your app or using your app in production, right? So you can track those events, which are also called as segments, and those events will then be tracked and put it into our one of the softwares where you can see, okay, these are the most areas that our customers are using in the mobile app. So as I said, ours is a mobile app first, right? So if you have a web app or a desktop app, you can do a similar part, right, with respect to put those tools into place where you can see, okay, these are my high risk areas with respect to how do how does an actual customer is looking into the app. So I can then concentrate on identifying my automation scripts or my tests to be executed on those specific areas, and maybe do a lesser sort of testing because you have the confidence, okay, because this is working and this is the new change coming in, and these are the higher risk areas coming from the production. So you can modify your scripts accordingly, execute them, and then help the product as together to release it much faster. Then there are a lot of feedback loops that come in with respect to usage of AI, and usage of AI driven these feedback loops. Okay, so you had a test called as A. The test is doing something with respect to B. So this testing of B using A was doing only some sort of parts per se. And you put these AI tools into place, and then you identify, okay, it was testing these areas, but it is missing something else which is very critical. So this feedback is then pushed onto your test, and then you can improve your test accordingly. There are a lot of tools in the market that are coming up with integrating all of these, and putting up one such tool into the place which you can use for your automation APIs and whatnot. I wish I could have shown something, but maybe let me just stop sharing and show you something else. So there is this tool called as Test Sigma. So there are different tools like Test Sigma. There are tools called as Axel Q. There's something called as Catalan and Mastro, and a lot of tools that are in the market which are using these AI mechanisms to write your test faster. As you can see here, uh, so I do have access to the Sigma, but there is a maintenance. It's a Saturday evening. I don't blame them. There's a maintenance to improve their platform. So you can see it's just about writing these LLMs, writing these natural language tests. Just navigate to click on. So what goes over here is basically you write navigate to this particular URL. But what goes behind that is again code, okay, which is a Selenium based code or an Appium based code for the mobile part. Okay, so when I say navigate to simplytravel.sigma.com on the Sigma's platform, what it does is it calls up a code in the Selenium platform wherein it says open URL. Okay, click on says, you know, identify this element and click on like that. So these sort of new age tools are really coming up with different skill sets to enhance your automation, enhance your overall product cycle, release cycle, and uh, release the products faster into the market with the usage of these AI parts. Of course, as we have been hearing all through this today's sessions, that all of these automation and the AI definitely comes with a lot of challenges, right? So, what are those challenges? In my view, we need to upskill ourselves with respect to the usage of these technologies, instead of getting fear into our minds that okay, AI might replace me. There might be job losses. Yes, of course, there might be job losses if we don't upskill ourselves, right? So what do we need to do is upskill ourselves, learn the new technologies, learn how these statistics is being built up, how the mathematics is being built up to use these models. Those models help us in improving the automation. So learn that part of the model making, validate those models, understand how these technologies are being used, put those together, and keep them into your skill sets. In that way, the fear of job losses will not be with you. Enhance your skill set as much as you can, and get the fear out of you. Then, of course, as Vandana had really very well presented the OWASP to concepts and the ethical parts. This is definitely a very important piece nowadays to do the ethical sort of practices to use the AI technologies. You cannot just simply put into your code, as was given in one of the analogy that Vandana had shared. Uh, so what you can do, instead of putting all of your code to ChatGPT and giving that back, there are other ways in making sure that your work is also done nicely, but it's also ethical to do that, right? One is you don't give all of your code to do. You just put your simple challenge. Okay, this is my challenge. And when you are coding something onto your for your product, there's a particular challenge that you are not able to solve. Just put that challenge onto ChatGPT, take that out, understand what could be the differences that your thinking and ChatGPT's thinking are, implement those onto your platform. This is one way. There could be other ways in terms of much simpler ways is with respect to even ChatGPT has all of the OpenAI concepts, not just ChatGPT. All of these OpenAIs has have the license based OpenAI, so you can definitely buy them. Be sure that your code is not going out using those public keys and Azure key to make sure that your code still stays safe and utilize those. These practices are now helping us to improve our existing automation, existing stuff that the SDETs do. So if I go back to my earlier slide, right, this is the current state of SDETs, right? So using these OpenAI concepts or the other AI concepts, you can generate your automation, you can generate your performance tests, unit tests, API tests, even contract tests, right? So you buy your license for OpenAI, put your code there, and it will generate your unit tests. It can generate your contract tests. So you can just put in, okay, this is my challenge or this is my code for this particular piece of product. Can you give me unit test cases for this? It just gives the unit test cases, fit into your model, and see, okay, how best you can make use of those unit and other tests, right? Of course, the other challenge is, how do you integrate all of this into your existing frameworks? So you might be using Cypress, you might be using Selenium APM for the SDEX part. For the development part, you might be using some other Spring frameworks and all whatnot, right? How do you integrate all of this, right? So these are some things few things that you need to discuss within your organization. What fits in into your organization, like whether the GitHub Copilot fits in, or maybe the AWS Code Whisper that would fit in for you, or buying an OpenAI license would be much better for your organization. So understand those, put those challenges, and come through out of it by upskilling yourself. Use that time which is freed up from using these technologies to do something else which is much more fruitful to you, to the company, to the overall community. Using this, right, I would probably also put into some kind of an analogy in terms of how we want to make better use of all of this, right? So I was reading an article just yesterday or the day before yesterday. All of us would definitely know the huge floods across Dubai, right? I have complete sympathy with everyone who are probably joining in from Dubai right now, but even who are from Dubai as well. But what happened there, in that article at least, I am not advocating for that, but that article was mentioning that it probably happened. Again, I'm using the word probably. It probably happened because of a cloud seeding, right? Which just burst out, and it created floods all across Dubai. What is cloud seeding? It is an human-made uh, approach to improve or build in some rain onto the clouds, and then the rain comes in. Again, it's an intelligence that you have. Okay, your brain is working something, you put that intelligence to something else, and that creates or helps you from your nature perspective. So these kind of technologies are there in the market. So I'm not saying that Dubai might have used those cloud seeding or something, but where I'm leading to is one particular word. You might have already guessed it. That word is called as artificial. What is artificial? The dictionary meaning of artificial says it is made by human skills or produced by humans, and which is not natural. Be it the cloud seeding example that we just heard, be it the artificial intelligence, again, there's an artificial there, right? So it is human made. So you have to put in something to the system. System learns itself, improves itself, just like us humans, right? When we are toddlers or we are kids, and we went through the from toddlers to kids to adults, adolescents, and now we are in this place. So we learn all through these parts, like all of us have learned. Similarly, these systems will also be learning few things. So how do you ensure that you give the right knowledge to these systems in the right way, in the right ethical way, to improve your life, to improve your overall uh, ecosystem of testing, ecosystem of development, ecosystem of product releases, and make use of that time to better your life, upskill yourself, and like this says, do not go in this way. We don't want ourselves to be hooked and machines. Obviously, machines are learning. We do want the machines to learn, but we don't want ourselves to be hooked to the social medias or the just the laptops or the mobile phones in this way. But what do we want is something like this. We learn, as is depicted on this image. We upskill ourselves, enhance our skills, put that knowledge onto the system. That's the artificial intelligence. Improve that, and then get back into the challenges that you have in your life, product, or everything else. And at that moment, I think I'm good, and I'm good to take any questions. That's awesome, Manisha. I just saw your chat. You're using Tide Bank here. Uh, that's good to hear, but it's not a bank. We are a financial platform. So, yeah, we are tied up with another bank, but good to know.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Subhash, for the questions. Folks, I'll request everyone to please tap the upvote. I'll pose the first question. Is QA at risk of AI in upcoming years?
Definitely not. Like I said in my presentation as well, if you take it from the negative perspective of it or negative mindset of it, that what would happen to me, okay, put the fear into our minds, then yes, QA is at risk. But don't
Okay,
look at it from that way. You know, uh, look at it in a positive way. Okay, some of the skills that you have can be utilized or used by the AI, and then you do something else better. So definitely a no.
perfect. My next question will be, what is the scope of AI in the area of front-end UI, GUI, UX testing?
Right. So there are different tools. One such tool is being developed by a company called as mobile.dev, which is identifying the different languages, linguistic changes. Okay, for example, there's a website which is global, and there are different languages. Obviously, probably I'll not be understanding a German language or a Russian language or an Arabic language. So these tools are helping us to improve that. So uh, there are a lot of other tools as well which improve the overall, you know, not just testing but even the building of the UI UX parts.
Got it. Next question is, what are the prerequisites for learning LLMs? Can you suggest good LLMs to learn?
Okay, so before learning LLM, the prerequisites, as you said, Srini, is for you to have your base strong, right? So if you have your base strong, what is our base is mathematics, right? So understand your mathematics for any LLM, for any artificial intelligence coding, normal, just doing Java code. The base is mathematics, right? So get your mathematics right, and then build upon that, and then use your statistics or LLMs. Good LLMs to learn. There are a lot of them on the market. You can ask that to ChatGPT; it will give you the answer.
Yep, perfect. Uh, Bharat is asking a question. What impact will AI ML have on the future accessibility of quantum computing technology, and how might this intersect reshape testing practices?
Okay, so Sorry. Yeah. So the quantum computing is an interesting topic, Bharat. Basically, again, quantum computing goes back to my basics of mathematics. How when you're strong, you would put those mathematics onto this part, and then use these AI MLs to improve your uh, knowledge of the quantum computing and better those models that the quantum is creating. And then from the testing perspective of that is again you validate those models that are being generated and nothing big, bigger than that.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, Subhash, for taking out time and giving the session. Yeah,
Thank you
thank you.
guys. See you.
I'll
Bye.
surely meet you in the next session.